Hello everyone, welcome to another video on Indian Ethos and Management. This is the fourth module of Indian Ethos and Management, in which we are going to discuss about leadership and corporate social responsibility. Leading with wisdom and giving back to society. That is a core concept which we are going to see in this particular video. In that, the first one is the Indian perspective on leadership. Then we'll be talking about the different styles of leadership, like the Rajarishi leadership and the nurture and task leadership concept. We have studied a lot of leadership theories as given by Western philosophers, and also we have learned about various styles of leaderships in the Western, given by the Western philosophers. We know that there are different styles of leadership, like the authoritative leader, the participative leader, the democratic leader, the various types we are familiar with. But in this video, we are going to look at what is the Indian concept of leadership. So, when the Western leadership theories are mainly rooted in rationalism, individualism, and material success, the Indian philosophy of leadership is mainly focused on spiritual wisdom, ethics, and collective well being. So, leadership is considered as duty or dharma rather than a position or power. So, Indian leaders are expected to align organizational goals with society and moral responsibilities. So, when the Western leadership asks what works best, the Indian leadership asks what is right for everyone or what is beneficial for all. So, that is the Indian perspective of leadership. So now let us look at the two different styles of leadership as given by the Indian philosophy. The first one is the Rajarishi leadership. Uh, the, the term Rajarishi leadership comes from the Indian scriptures, where rulers such as King Janaka, I'm sure all of you have heard of Janaka Maharaj, or the King Janaka, who is also the father of Sita from the Ramayana, who is known to combine administrative efficiency with wisdom. So, unlike Western leadership theories that separate power and morality, Rajarishi leadership style integrates both. So, we know that the autocratic leader, in the case of autocratic leadership, the authority is centralized and the decision comes from top down. The leader's power is often justified by the position, the hierarchy, or the control he or she has. So, the ethical restraint is rather external or through laws and the systems which is there in the organization. But in contrast, in the case of Rajarishi leadership, the Raja represents the executive authority and governance, which is similar to that of the Western authority. But the difference here is the Rishi, who represents the inner wisdom or ethical restraint or detachment from ego. So it simply means that the power is self regulated. There is no need for an external force to regulate the power. It is within oneself that the power is regulated or it is controlled. So the leader governs firmly but remains detached uh, to decisions, which is the decisions are not driven by his own greed or fear or any personal attachment or any personal ambition. So such a style of leadership is what is called as Rajrishi style of leadership. So, how does Rajrishi style of leadership apply in the modern organizations? So, we know that the authoritarian leaders are decisive, but they are often rigid and ego driven. The democratic leaders consult teams but may delay decisions. Now, the leadership effectiveness is quite often linked to outcomes and not inner balance. But in the case of Rajrishi leadership, It combines the strength of decisiveness with emotional and ethical stability or maturity. Such leaders take tough decisions just like authoritarian leaders, but without any arrogance or dominance. Whatever success they achieve, they are detached to it, or it does not have any ego attachment. So, when in the case of Western leaders, when they are identified by personal success or failure, Rajrishi leaders, they remain detached and are calm and objective and are not bound by any material success. So this normally happens uh, in the case of organizations wherein the success is attributed to the team and not to just one person. So, such a person in any organization can be equated to that of a Rajrishi leader. So, this style of leadership builds trust, credibility, and long term sustainability in any organization. The second style of leadership, as given in the Indian philosophies, is called as the nurture and task leadership concept. As the name itself suggests, there are two aspects. One is nurturing, and another one is task. So, according to the Western leadership theories, there is often a separation between task and the people. So, either it is task or the process orientation or the people orientation. Normally, it does not go hand in hand. In the case of autocratic or the authoritarian style of leadership, they are task oriented and focus on control. Whereas in the case of democratic leadership, they focus on participation and people. Now, there is also another style of leadership called the laissez-faire, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with. In that, it often leads to freedom but lack of control and may lack direction. But in the case of nurturing task leadership, which is rooted in the Indian ethos, it integrates both. That the leader is strongly task oriented, which means he has a clear plan to attain goal. There is clarity of objective. It also leads to discipline and accountability. At the same time, he is also deeply people oriented in the sense he acts as a mentor, gives emotional support and care, and focuses on the professional as well as personal well being of the employees. So there is I know there is no need for a choice, as in the case of Western philosophy, there is no need for a choice for the leader to choose whether being empathetic or being efficient. So in this nurture and task leadership, both goes hand in hand. So an efficient leader can also be equally empathetic. So that is what is called as a nurture and task leadership style. Now, how this can be practiced in organizations. In practice, there are certain limitations as far as the Western leadership style is concerned. Like in the case of autocratic leader, they deliver result, but may cause stress and burnout. In the case of democratic leader, they build morale, but the decisions can be slow or it may dilute accountability. In the case of laissez-faire leaders, they encourage autonomy but are risk or confused. But in the case of nurturing task leader, it avoids all these extremes. Okay, so such a leader sets clear goals and monitors performance. He ensures accountability and a task-oriented leader, but also mentors employees, understand personal struggles, and supports growth. Employees are not treated merely as human resources, but they are treated as human beings with potential. So naturally, this creates loyalty, motivation, and long-term commitment, uh, which leads to a sustainable organization. Let us now look at the leadership, CSR, and the societal impact. There is always a difference, as we have already discussed, that in the case of a Western leadership, there is always separation between the task orientation and people orientation. But in this case, both Rajarshi as well as nurture and task leadership styles, uh, it's a combination of both. It tries to integrate power with compassion. So, naturally, it is extended to corporate social responsibility. That is, leaders who are guided by wisdom also, and care, see businesses as contributors to societal welfare. We have already discussed that we are talking about the societal good and not just the individual good or the good of the business alone. So, such leaders promote ethical governance, inclusive growth, as well as community development. So, which automatically ensures that the organization gives back to the society. So, with that, we have come to an end of another video. We have come to conclude session 10. We'll be seeing uh, with another interesting topic. Rather, I think that would be the last topic that we are going to discuss in the next video. Thank you.